Gotthard Fedor August Heinrici, the 25th of December 1886 to the 13th of December 1971, was a German general during World War II, widely regarded as one of the Wehrmacht's premier defensive tacticians. Known for his strategic brilliance, moral convictions, and leadership under pressure, Heinrici's life was shaped by his military career, personal faith, and complex relationship with the Nazi regime. Below is a comprehensive account of his life, drawn from available historical sources, including his diaries and letters, which provide insight into his character and experiences. Early life and background: 1886–1905. Gotthard Heinrici was born on Christmas Day, 1886, in Gumbinnen, East Prussia, now Gusev, Russia, to Paul Heinrici, a Lutheran minister, and his wife, Gisela von Rauchhaupt. He came from a long line of East Prussian theologians, including his uncle Georg Heinrici and grandfather Karl August Heinrici. Despite this family tradition, Heinrici chose a military path, breaking away from the clerical legacy. His devout Lutheran faith, which he maintained throughout his life, profoundly influenced his moral outlook and decisions. In 1905, after graduating from secondary school, Heinrici joined the German army as a cadet in the 95th Infantry Regiment at age 19, continuing a family tradition of military service that dated back to the 12th century. His early years in the army were marked by rigorous training and a commitment to the Prussian military ethos. World War I and interwar years, 1905–1939. Heinrici's military career began in earnest during World War I. He saw action on both the Western and Eastern fronts, earning the Iron Cross Second Class in September 1914 for his role in the German invasion of Belgium and the Iron Cross First Class in July 1915 for his service in battles such as the First Battle of the Masurian Lakes and the Battle of Lodz. He was wounded in combat, receiving a Black Wound Badge, and survived a poison gas attack, which underscored the brutal realities of the war. In May 1916, Heinrici participated in the Battle of Verdun, one of the war's most grueling campaigns. From September 1916, he served in various general staff roles, including with the 24th Reserve Corps and the 115th Infantry Division. By March 1917, he was posted to the German General Staff, attending a staff officer training course in September. He later served as a staff officer with the 7th and 8th Corps and, in February 1918, joined an infantry division as a staff officer responsible for operations. His service earned him the Prussian Knight's Cross of the Royal House Order of Hohenzollern with swords in August 1918. After World War I, Heinrici remained in the army during the Weimar Republic, a period of significant military and political upheaval. By 1936, he had risen to the rank of Major General, demonstrating his competence and dedication to the profession despite Germany's shifting political landscape. Personal life and moral stance: Heinrici married Gertrude Strupp, who had a Jewish parent, making their two children, Hartmut and Gisela, classified as Mischlinge, partly Jewish, under Nazi racial laws. This placed the family in a precarious position, but Heinrici secured a German blood certificate from Adolf Hitler himself, which protected his children from discrimination and validated their Aryan status. His refusal to join the Nazi Party and his outspoken Lutheran faith made him unpopular with the Nazi hierarchy, particularly with Hitler and Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring, who reportedly scorned him. Heinrici's diaries reveal his contempt for Göring and his growing unease with Nazi ideology, particularly its racial policies and strategic decisions. Heinrici was known for his reserved demeanor, modest appearance, and empathy for his soldiers. Unlike many Nazi-era officers, he avoided the polished jackboots and elaborate uniforms, preferring worn World War I boots, muddy leggings, and a simple field cap. His troops nicknamed him Unser Giftswerk, or Poison Dwarf, a term of endearment reflecting his small stature, tenacity, and leadership style. He maintained close contact with his troops, embodying the Prussian ideal of leading from the front. World War II, early campaigns, 1939–1941. At the outbreak of World War II, Heinrici commanded the 12th Army Corps under General Wilhelm Ritter von Leeb's Army Group C during the Battle of France. On the 14th of June 1940, his forces broke through the Maginot Line south of Saarbrücken, a significant achievement that showcased his tactical acumen. In 1941, Heinrici participated in Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union, serving under Gunther von Kluge in the 4th Army as commander of the XXXXII Army Corps. He played key roles in the Battle of Bialystok-Minsk, the Battle of Kiev, and the Battle of Moscow, earning the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross in September 1941 for his leadership. His diaries from this period, later published in A German General on the Eastern Front, The Letters and Diaries of Gotthard Heinrici 1941-1942, edited by Johannes Herder, reveal his candid observations about the harsh realities of the Eastern Front. He expressed doubts about Hitler's strategy, noting the logistical difficulties and the resilience of Soviet forces, and voiced concerns about the Wehrmacht's involvement in war crimes and early Holocaust actions. Command of the Fourth Army and Defensive Expertise, 1942-1944. In January 1942, Heinrici was promoted to general and given command of the Fourth Army, facing immense Soviet pressure during the Battle of Moscow. His innovative defensive tactics, such as withdrawing troops before Soviet artillery barrages and then counter-attacking, allowed his forces to hold out against overwhelming odds, sometimes outnumbered 12-1. This earned him a reputation as the Wehrmacht's foremost defensive specialist. His approach contrasted with Hitler's rigid, no retreat, orders, which Heinrici occasionally circumvented to preserve his forces, as seen in his pragmatic response to a subordinate's concern about retreating. When a worker is cleaning a punch press in a factory, does he stick his head under the slab when it turns on? No, he pulls it out of the way in time. In 1943, Heinrici's leadership during the Battle of Orsha in Belarus was pivotal. His Fourth Army, entrenched in defensive positions, temporarily halted the Soviet Western Front under General Vasily Sokolovsky, inflicting heavy losses during the retreat. For this, he received the Oak Leaves to his Knight's Cross on the 24th of November 1943. However, his refusal to obey an order to burn Smolensk during the retreat led to his temporary dismissal, reflecting his moral stance against unnecessary destruction. In August 1944, Heinrici was appointed commander of the 1st Panzer Army, further solidifying his reputation for defensive warfare. His strategies focused on flexibility, counterattacks, and minimizing losses, earning him respect among his troops and peers. Final command in the Battle of Berlin, 1945. In March 1945, Heinrici succeeded Heinrich Himmler as commander of Army Group Vistula, tasked with defending Berlin against the advancing Red Army. As Soviet forces launched the Vistula-Oder offensive, Heinrici prepared for Operation Clausewitz, organizing Berlin's defenses. However, he recognized the futility of Hitler's orders to hold the city at all costs. On the 20th of March, he began defensive preparations, but by April, the Red Army had encircled Berlin after victories at Seelow Heights and Halb. Heinrici's defiance of Hitler's orders defined his final days in command. He opposed the destruction of Berlin's bridges and infrastructure, arguing that it would cripple post-war recovery. When General Helmuth Rehmann, Berlin's commandant, insisted on demolishing key bridges, Heinrici intervened, ordering the removal of explosives to preserve vital infrastructure. On 28 or the 29th of April 1945, he was relieved of command after ordering his troops to withdraw northward to halt a Soviet breakthrough at Neubrandenburg, defying Hitler's directive to fight to the last man. General Kurt Student or Kurt von Tippelskirch replaced him, though the collapsing German front rendered this change largely irrelevant. Post-war life and legacy, 1945-1971. After his dismissal, Heinrici was captured by U.S. forces in northern Italy in April 1945 and transferred to British custody, spending time in the Island Farm POW camp in southwest England and later in Egypt until September 1948. His actions in sparing Berlin's infrastructure were later credited with saving lives and shortening the war's final days. Post-war, Heinrici lived quietly in Endersbach, Weinstadt, and later served as a military pastor for the Bundeswehr, reflecting his theological roots. He died on the 13th of December 1971 in Waiblingen, Germany, at age 84, and was buried with full military honors at Bergacker Cemetery in Freiburg im Breisgau alongside his wife, Gertrude, who died in 1981. Heinrici's diaries and letters, published in 2014 by Johannes Herder, offer a rare glimpse into the mind of a Wehrmacht general who balanced military duty with moral reservations. Unlike self-serving memoirs by contemporaries like Guderian or Manstein, Heinrici's writings are noted for their candor, detailing the brutality of the Eastern Front, his skepticism of Hitler's leadership, and his horror at war crimes. His reflections on Soviet resilience, informed by readings of Tolstoy, highlight his analytical mind, as he marveled at why the Soviet Union did not collapse like France in 1940, attributing it to the stubbornness and collective spirit of Soviet soldiers.